how can we, I'm going to wrap up the last thing. So there are a series of opportunities given this that, hopefully we're not going to come back in 50 years and we're going to be looking at the same kind of aircraft that we're flying now and software. So it's very much in industry's interest that this happen. There are certainly things to help promote this along. These are the the Illinois and Berkeley labs I mentioned, which are Microsoft, Intel joint efforts. They hold summer workshops on this. There's either none or very small cost to sign up. I participated directly in the Berkeley one last year. We had about 120 people in the room and another 300 online in streaming video. And there were hands-on labs and whatnot. I think we're going to repeat that. And Illinois has already scheduled the repetition of that. So this is one example. The workshops are good if you have the time. Some online resources, and I want to point to a new one. This is not ours in particular. This is a new one from NSDL, and it's a great website. So Dan Garcia is sitting in the front here, I believe is a key mover in this, if not responsible for this. Not responsible for this. Okay, key mover. The thing is there. This is a beginning. It's beta as it's tagged, but this is a really nice source for community. And that one is broad computation. Now here is ours being Intel. We also run a similar site with content and blogs and so forth, but our focus is really on the parallel computation and try to get the community of people who join us here plugged into whatever is new, for example, the CT as it comes along. Another thing we do with it, which is quite fun, is do every 2 weeks TV broadcast with luminaries. In the box there, if you can see those, Alan Kay was the most recent guest on the show, Turing winner, inventor of something or other, something to do with interfaces, right? Just, of course, a well-known individual, and many others have come on the show. So this is one effort we do. I mentioned this is an industry-wide matter. I tried to use a neutral-sounding word there. It's not like industry-wide freak out, panic. This is just a matter, industry-wide matter. It's not just us. And I give some of the players there. So IBM, it talks about parallel computing. They have resources online. AMD certainly does. NVIDIA has made great headway with their approach on CUDA. Microsoft, as I said, good work. Oracle, the little blurb, these are all screenshots clipped at Sun Oracle in this case. And they say, our future depends on it, going back to, are we at a plateau or not? And we better not be. In any case, these players and others have been gathering informally, calling themselves the Educational Alliance for a Parallel Future. And people, companies that are competitors otherwise recognize a common requirement, for all of us to be successful, that parallel computing become normal. And the way we recognize to have that happen is to work with you folks, with this computer science education community, and help you in whatever way we can. What EAPF has done so far in terms of tangible output is we've done panels discussing this topic at the last 2 supercomputer conferences. That's Matt Wolf at the podium. And this one we were deliberately provocative, let's say. There's no more sequential programming, so why are we still teaching it? We have academics involved in this as well. Certainly contact us if this is interesting. There is a website as of yesterday, I think, eapf.org, and we'll be trying to coordinate and complement the work done by Dan's team and the NSDL. And ACM presents us with an interesting opportunity. We're discussing it with them right now. ACM has Tech Packs, a relatively new thing. And what about a portal on parallelism education, which could be a meta site, hopefully not redundant to the other meta sites, where would be a central place to go for industry efforts and offerings in this, what I've put on the left, and academic and global type offerings on the right. The ones I've cited there, in addition to Dan's, are the show door. Many of you perhaps know the story behind that name. Apparently, gentleman named Bob Canoff runs it, and he heard a student down the hall from his office asking at reception for the professor. I don't remember his name, but it's the short and dorky one. So he called his website in honor of that description. And then the other one listed there, the CERC, is Georgia Tech, sort of repository central site for this. There are many others. I just didn't want to make the slide too busy. This is sort of a work in progress. Final point. To help this come along, I said, if the future, the fairly near future, is not multi-core systems, 4-core systems, which are sort of easily accessible, but lots and lots of cores. And people say, well, I'm intrigued, but I don't have one on my desk. What can I do about this to explore? And so in response to that, we've put up just this week, announced this week, and it's running, a facility with heavy iron, and I'll give a picture of that. It looks kind of like this. So there's a front end with 32 cores. These are x86 Xeon cores. Lots and lots of memory, so that we can accommodate a fair number of logins simultaneously. It's running Linux at the moment. We'll expand to other operating systems pretty quickly. This just got running. And the notion is that anyone in the academic community could apply, say, I've got a project, I want to check this out. How do my class exercises scale when they run on 32 cores? What might be modified to make them scale better? Or could I try a new programming model? Rather than set it up in my own shop, we'll have it set up there. And then when people want accurate information about it, when they're playing in the sandbox of the login server, they submit it off to one or another of the compute nodes, which are clones of the sandbox. But you get a dedicated run when you do it. So this is a facility. It looks so pretty in a diagram. This is what it looks like really. There's always, this is sort of the inside of the sausage, server racks. You can see we have room for more in this rack, and this is actually in a room full of racks. And these are initially 32-core Xeon systems, as I mentioned, but we certainly intend, if this takes off, if this turns out to be a useful thing for you folks, then we would refresh them with the latest and greatest, and even potentially research chips. I really tried to press the cloud on a chip folks. That you may have heard there was an announcement, a 48-core tiled architecture research chip. Wanted to get this in here. They said, yes, but not now. So there's no announcement of that for this, but that's just as an example. And here is, in lieu of a demo, I have a screenshot of the sort of thing that might be tried. Here's a sort of a fun, computationally intensive example, which is open source. It's called Tachyon, and you see what it is right there. It's a ray tracing example. Ray tracing is nice because students tend to get it, at least the concept. It is computationally intensive, and it does make pretty pictures. And you can sort of dial up the intensity, arbitrarily large, as the systems get better. So here was an example of one done with Tachyon. And it was a coworker of ours actually coded this. The flip side of this, of course, we'll give you the source code to this. It's open source, so we'll put it back in there. A colleague of ours, Gary Carlton, I should have credited him on the slide. He took the sequential code of Tachyon in a single sitting with about 5 threading building blocks commands, made this scalably parallel. So that was kind of fun, just to have a kickstart this with an example. And thank you very much. I'll take questions.